young career. Kansas City is the AFC champion. They are headed to Miami.
Fired up to go to Miami. Need to get on a diet so I can fit in my clothes.
See you in Miami.
Chiefs Kingdom, baby. Holla at me.
Raheem Mostert has the hat trick in the first half. Mostert has 4 rushing touchdowns. Is intercepted. Feels super, baby. The 5-time Super Bowl champions are going back to Miami.
Third time going Super Bowl now.
Hold up.
Yay.
Oh, we've got so many Super Bowl storylines for the showdown at South Beach. Patrick Mahomes and the 49ers defense each ranked second in total QBR this season. We'll see what happens there. Andy Reid, he's back at the Super Bowl for the first time in 15 seasons after going with the Eagles to the big game in Super Bowl 39. He is 6 on the all-time wins list, still looking for that elusive first Super Bowl ring. And Kyle Shanahan looks to bring a 6th Super Bowl to the Niners franchise, and what a turnaround it would be. The 99 Rams are the only team to post a 4-win season and then win a Super Bowl championship the following year. Hi, everybody, and welcome into a special Super Bowl edition of NFL Primetime on ESPN+. I'm Trey Wingo, along with senior NFL insider Chris Mortensen, and the man who brings the style to the show, Ryan Clark. Listen, unlike maybe the last thing you saw on ESPN+, we promised to go more than 40 seconds. We have a lot to get through here today as we get you set on everything you need to know for Super Bowl 54. But just off the top of your head, we have the idea that contrasting styles make good fights, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And we have contrasting styles here in a high-powered offense with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs against a suffocating defense in San Francisco. What's the first thing that pops into your mind?
The perfect team against the perfect player. And it's kind of what you said. Look, you look at the San Francisco 49ers, and you guys have been around this for a long time. This is how you build a playoff team. You can run the football, you can play great defense, you have a great coaching staff, and a quarterback who can make the throws when you need them. And so if you think of a team that way, that is that efficient at doing all these things, it's an easy win, right? Oh, no, not when you're playing Patrick Mahomes.
Nope.
Because I think you call him Hall of Famer.
That's a future Hall of Famer.
Future Hall of Famer, Patrick Mahomes?
Thank you.
Listen, this guy's been down 24-0. He's been down 17-7, and at no point were any of us relaxed and thinking that the other team was going to win because we knew Patrick Mahomes was on the other side. In fact, when they got up, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, Andy Reid doesn't have to call runs anymore. Patrick Mahomes is about to go nuts. And so I can't wait to see that defense versus Patrick Mahomes and what this Kansas City Chiefs offense can do.
Yeah, my favorite thing about this is they were behind in double digits in both games in the second quarter, and they had the lead by the half. By the half, and it was over at that point. It was over as soon as they took the lead. What are you looking at? First observations.
Well, to me, we're looking at the legacies of the coaches. Andy Reid, especially with the Kansas City Chiefs. We know what he's done in terms of total wins, getting his team in the playoffs, developing quarterbacks in this league. But he does not have a Super Bowl victory. He's only been to one. He lost to the Patriots, as you know. But for him to become what we would say a future Hall of Famer, he's got to win one of these Super Bowl games. And I'm saying this may not be the only one he goes to with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. And then you flip it over to Kyle Shanahan. Feels like he's been coaching in this league forever. How old is he, 40?
Yeah.
Well,
because you've been hearing the name forever, right?
Maybe because he's a Shanahan, but he's 29 years old. His mind is still very fertile. He works relentlessly. And I think that when you talk about guys who could build a legacy with 20 years left or 25 years still remaining to coach if he so desires, it can be a all-time legacy if he wins this game.
Well, there's so many family aspects to Super Bowl 54. Kyle, with his father, Mike, they become the first father-son head coach to be head coaches on Super Bowl Sunday. Then you have Chiefs owner Clark Hunt, who took the Lamar Hunt Trophy as they go to their first Super Bowl in 50 years. And then just sort of randomly, Joe Buck's going to call Super Bowl 54. The last time the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl, Jack Buck was on the call. So there's so many amazing stories that go back and forth, and we're going to dive deep into all of it. But as for how the 49ers got here, let's go back and take a look at the NFC Championship game highlights with who else? Boom, what?
Levi Stadium, now really a home field advantage for the Niners. There's Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Garoppolo. One would throw a lot, one would hardly throw at all. But He can still run the patterns, guys. Look, Key.
Yes, he can.
Steve Young, that was Jerry Rice, obviously. And here comes Jimmy Garoppolo in the first quarter. Wait a minute, a pass. Deebo Samuel, he was a monster. Deebo, bang! I almost want to resurrect Deebo. Whoa. Then they're throwing in the first quarter. This is Samuel again. Runs over Darnell Savage, hits 30 yards. And did we say physical? Raheem Mostert. Colonel Mostert with the lead pipe in the conservatory. 7-0 Niners.
You know what, Boom, as you continue to watch these playoffs and look at these running backs, there's a lot of guys, and Tommy's not going to like this, at the second wave of defender, they don't want to tackle. What happened to that in the National Football League, Tommy?
Making business decisions, Key.
Up 7-0, Aaron Jones. Well, forget it. Nick Bosa, that front wall of San Francisco, immense in everything the Packers tried to do. Did we say everything? Yeah. Bosa, the rookie. Aaron Rodgers, no chance. Packers punting. Now it's 10-0 second quarter. And here's more defense. Kawan Williams, strip sack, ball out. They recover it, Pack, but they're forced, but just too much, Tom. Too much stuff.
Too much pressure by the D-line on Rodgers.
And J.K. Scott's going to punt it, and if bad goes to worse, even he was intimidated, I guess. 23-yard thank you, and the ball is at the 37. Mostert. Look at the hole by the line. Look at the run. It's 13 yards. Then Tevin Coleman, who is a different pace of back, but tried to brace himself and he got hurt right.
Yeah, really horrible to look at right there as you watch his arm get flexed in a way that nobody's arm should, Boom.
Mm-hmm. So he was carted off. That was tough to see. But Mostert back in. Blake Martinez, get out of my way. Colonel Mostert in the kitchen with the candlestick.
You can't do a lot of this running the football for 285 yards unless you have receivers blocking, much like Samuel did for the 49ers right there.
17-0. And then the Pack, oh my goodness, the snap never made it. DeForest Buckner is right there, and the Packers can't see DeForest through the trees.
The center and quarterback both a little bit at fault. The snap is a little bit short, and Rodgers pulls out without the football. Turnover goes right to the 49ers.
So, I mean, it's a disaster. 20-0 late second, and Rodgers just trying to make something happen with a minute to go. Emmanuel Mosley. And here come the Niners again at the 30 of the Pack. And you'll never guess who's going to get the ball looking for the end zone, fellas. It's Colonel Mostert in the library with the wrench. Touchdown, 27-0 at the half.
I guess that was another one of those business decisions by the secondary for the Green Bay Packers.
Looked like it. Now third quarter. Pack get the ball. Rodgers, one of the kind of time, and he's got Devontae Adams for a first down, 16 yards. Then Rodgers, they're just trying to get something going, and they're trying to give the Pack credit. Adams, 14 yards. In the red zone, Pack. Little flip to Jones, Aaron to Aaron, touchdown, 27-7.
Yeah, screen game working down in the red zone.
Now the Niners, can they keep it going? Well, this is Deebo Samuel on a reverse. Deebo, whoa, wow, almost down to the 20, 32-yard pickup. And then you'll never guess who's looking for the end zone. I'm running out of stuff here. Colonel Mostert in the study with the dagger. That pretty much was the dagger, 34-7.
There goes again a wide receiver blocking for a running back. That's something that you do in this San Francisco 49ers style offense.
Yep, everybody contributes in different ways. Rodgers, he did have one long to Adams, but this one, symbolically, the veteran Richard Sherman going back to a Super Bowl. He went to 2 with Niners, with Seattle. And there's Kyle and Mike Shanahan and Jed York. And the NFC champions, San Francisco 49ers, they left. No, John Lynch, the GM's done a great job. Might be in the Hall of Fame this year. We'll see. George Kittle, Jimmy G. Oh, the celebration is on as the 49ers roll the Green Bay Packers 37-20. They played them twice. They got 37 points both times. Green Bay improved from 8 to 20. Jimmy, look, Mostert is the story we'll talk about in a moment, but Jimmy G, 6 of 8. That would be 75%.
Boomer, thanks very much. So the 49ers trying to do something they haven't done since Super Bowl 29 when Steve Young set a still Super Bowl record 6 touchdown passes. He was the MVP as they strafed the then San Diego Chargers 49-26. That game was in Miami, Joe Robbie Stadium. So San Francisco won 5 Super Bowls in the 80s and 90s with Joe Montana and Steve Young following him under center. With a win on February 2nd, the Niners would tie the Patriots and Sixburg Steelers for the most Super Bowls in NFL history. The Niners, beginning with the little-used passing arm of Jimmy Garoppolo, know what's at stake.
I mean, starting back with the ACL and everything, since then it's been crazy. It's been a crazy whirlwind of a ride, and it's no one else I'd rather be in a dogfight with than those guys in that locker room. It's a great group to be with. Everyone's pulling together. Everyone's tight with one another, and it's just a great group, man. It really is.
To get the win and to move on to Miami, my home state, and I can't believe it that I'm still being able to play at my home state. This is so surreal right now.
It's a different feel for me. You appreciate things a little more. My son gets to see me play. My son gets to go to the Super Bowl. My son's birthday is 3 days after the Super Bowl, and he wants a ring for his birthday. And, I'm going to do my best to try to bring that to him.
I just can't tell you how close of a group of guys we have that I know a lot of people say that. But I've been coaching a while, and I do feel like it's different. Everybody has just been on a mission to try to win each game. And it started week 1 versus Tampa. Today was the same thing, and I can officially say now we only have one more game left, so hopefully we can do it again.
Take a little peek at Kyle Shanahan through the years. How about 1997? That's him as a cord holder for his dad on Super Bowl 32, a game they would beat over Andy Reid 31-24. The first of the back-to-back Super Bowls there. On the other side was Andy Reid. Denver won by a touchdown. Then in 2016, 3rd and 1, 7:30 to play, 16-point lead. Run the ball! They didn't, which allowed the ultimate comeback, even though they had the great catch by Julio Jones there that set up what could have been a potential game-winning field goal on the toe tap. But they had a couple of things that took them back, like a sack, and the Pats were eventually able to erase that 25-point deficit. Come back, force overtime, got the ball in overtime, and went down and scored. Heartbreak, 34-28 in Super Bowl 51. So San Francisco is the first team ever to reach the Super Bowl immediately after 4 straight 10-loss seasons. And after going 4-12 in 2018, the Niners are also the 3rd team ever to reach the Super Bowl after a 4-win season. So if Boomer's going to bring in Debo and Abaskaggs and Lido Shuffle, we'll go the talking heads. Mort, how did they get here? Same as it ever was for the San Francisco 49ers. An amazing turnaround.
Well, it really goes back with the hiring of Kyle Shanahan as their coach, and he's the one who got together with John Lynch as general manager, and they decided to give both 6-year contracts. And so they got them on the same page. They survived the setback of Jimmy Garoppolo. Mm-hmm. They made the trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. Correct. And they survived the setback of him. But the one thing about Kyle Shanahan, I think most great head coaches have this quality. It's underrated. He's a terrific evaluator of talent. Running backs, linemen, he knows exactly what he wants, and he stays true to that blueprint.
And one of those running backs now is Raheem Mostert. I mean, the guy was cut 7 times. Yeah. He said in his post-game press conference, every day I look at the dates of my 7 cuts to remind me how I got here. I mean, he put on a show that's only bested by Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson, Ryan, when it comes to rushing yards in a playoff game.
No, it was absolutely amazing. He looked like he was running at a different speed than the Green Bay Packers secondary and linebackers. And we know how multiple and versatile that this offensive run game is. But when you have a guy that can hit the home run when things are blocked up for 6 or for 8 yards, it's huge. They had a 3rd and 8 on the first touchdown, and they chose to run the football. It wasn't a draw. There wasn't anything going on crazy to try to fool you away from the run, and he was untouched. When you can do that, then you have a formula to win in the playoffs.
But is this sustainable? Because the running game was the home run because they wouldn't even let Jimmy G bunt. I mean, he threw it 8 times. There's only 3 other times in postseason history where there have been fewer attempts. Twice by the Dolphins when they won the Super Bowl, 7 in the Super Bowl, 6 in a win over the Raiders before that, and then 5 by the Lions in 1935. That's it. This doesn't seem like this is going to work.
Well, I think we've seen Jimmy G in some situations this year have to throw the football. You can look at the New Orleans Saints or the way he finished against the Arizona Cardinals, and even go back to the Seattle Seahawks loss at home. Right. He put them in position to win with the field goal, and it was just missed by a rookie. So Jimmy G has found ways to make plays when he needed, but go back to, you can look at Tennessee when they played Baltimore. It wasn't a lot of throws from Ryan Tannehill, but there were clutch throws early. Obviously, you see this game, Kirk Cousins throws 10 passes early on this season. And so you can win that way if your offense is clicking while running the ball, but this will also help keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, and it's worked to this point.
Yeah, one thing about Kyle Shanahan that I always hear from people who've been around him or tried to share ideas with him, Mike Shanahan says he's a much better version of Mike Shanahan, who's won 2 Super Bowls. Peyton Manning spent some time with him on that free agent hunt. I had 4 hours over in Mike Shanahan's house with Kyle there and walked away very impressed with Kyle. One thing that Kyle is, he will evolve. And the other thing is, I heard old school in him yesterday. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're running the football. Why not keep running the football?
Well, that's interesting, right? Because when we showed the flashback, it was his decision to not run the ball on 3rd and 1 that really allowed the comeback to happen. So if it's working, stick with it and be who you are at that point. Because we looked it up. When Jimmy G threw that interception to Eric Kendricks of the Vikings in the divisional round, there was 2:49 left to go in the half. From that point on, to get to Super Bowl 54, the 49ers have played 92 minutes and 49 seconds of football and attempted 14 passes. That is them telling you, we are going to ride or die on the ground. We are not doing the Federal Express through the air.
Well, I think they don't want to get out of character. And sometimes that happens, right? You pay a guy some money, you think that he can do some things, and you start wanting to see him pitch the ball around the yard. But that's not how this team was built. But we saw Jimmy G have some good days, and so you say, you know what? We're going to work the passing a little bit. Deebo Samuel was good. George Kittle, Emmanuel Sanders, and then you say, man, we sure do a lot better when we turn around and hand the ball off, and that's what we've seen for the last 6 quarters.
And I think one thing about Kyle Shanahan, he does not lie to himself.
Right.
Listen, they've nursed Jimmy Garoppolo along. It wasn't a good preseason for Jimmy G, but he said he just needs to play. He's missed too much time. And then even going into this game, we're not going to let a guy who doesn't have any real playoff experience beat us or overexpose him in this game, and I think that was also part of the game plan. Now, what happens when they aren't running the ball effectively? We'll have to find that out in the Super Bowl, or we may not.
We may not if they continue to run it effectively.
You know what gets scary, Trey? Look at the Tennessee Titans once Patrick Mahomes started to do Patrick Mahomes-like things. They kind of started to get away from Derrick Henry, because I believe when you're a coach on the sideline or when you're an offensive player, you're looking at Patrick Mahomes and you start to think, oh my goodness, the defense can't stop him. Well, we have to do something.
To that point, I mean, when they scored the touchdown at the end of the first half of the AFC Championship game on Mahomes' run, that was an 86-yard drive. They got the ball back with 1:50 to play. They had 2 timeouts. They didn't use them, either one of them. And oh, by the way,
ridiculous.
That was the first time all season that the Tennessee Titans had given up a touchdown in the final 2 minutes at the end of the half. It was so bad that Dean Pease, the defensive coordinator, just retired. He just retired. Dean Pease is now Patrick Mahomes sent Dean Pease
is not what happened.
into retirement.
All I know is that good for Dean.
Yes.
He's earned some retirement.
Absolutely. So it was a remarkable thing. If you missed any of it, just sit back and let it wash over you one more time. I don't know if there will be more Clue references, but Boom is back for the AFC title game recap.
AFC Championship game, and here we go. Arrowhead Stadium. Patrick Mahomes, Ryan Tannehill into town. Come the Titans, upset-minded again. Tannehill throwing. Corey Davis, very early with the Titans up 3-0. Bashaud Breeland picked it off, or did he, fellas?
You know, it looked like it initially he did, but when you went back to the replay, you could see where the ball fell on the ground. So therefore, the Titans get another opportunity.
And now on 4th and 2, Vrabel's going to go for it. Tannehill will throw it, and it's a first down to Adam Humphries. Now, the question was, could they stop Derrick Henry? Well, early on, there's a hole to run through, and it's 10-0 Tennessee.
Same formation a week ago against the Baltimore Ravens, only it was a shot pass. This time, he takes it in the end zone. I figured, it's going to be another 180-yard day for him.
Well, Andy Reid was wondering the same thing, but Under 5 minutes to go, first quarter. Mahomes, let's dial it up. Escapes the rush. And Mimi hits Tyreek Hill, the Roadrunner, for 26 yards. Tennessee went for it on a 4th and 2. Where's Kansas City on a 4th and 2? Travis Kelce playing a little bit bumped up. You wouldn't know that for sure. A little bang in the shin, and doesn't matter. Makes the catch.
Kelce, great job of making himself available. Find the open space. Turn your numbers to the quarterback.
First and goal from the 8. Hill. Mimi. Out of the shadows, into the sun, and into the end zone. Hit 10-7.
When you're that fast and you got people out in front blocking for you, boom, there's nothing you can do. They're not going to catch him. They're going to get up in this end zone deal and try to get to Miami.
So they were trailing Houston by 24. Now they're down. They were down early again, but here's Tannehill to Davis. Was there flag of the play? Defensive pass interference on 3rd and 22, Tom, on Breeland.
And Breeland here has to play situational football, know what the situation is. You're grabbing a guy who isn't near a first down.
Last week was the jump passer earlier in the playoffs. Tannehill to Dennis Kelly, the tackle eligible. Mike Vrabel was always that. He caught, 12 in his career? And the coach says, I'm going to call that sort of play at 17-7. Mahomes to DeMarcus Robinson. Cuckoo Kachoo, 24 yards. 4 minutes left in the first half. Here come the Chiefs. Starting to warm up. Mahomes. Hill. Yep, that looks nice. 17-14.
Seam route right up the middle, boom. They did not reroute the receiver, and whenever that happens, Tommy will tell you they're going to score every single time.
Titans 3 and out. Chiefs ball back under 2 on 3rd and 4. Kelce, such a valuable security blanket and more. 18 yards, first down Chiefs. Under a minute to go, 3rd and 3. Mahomes. Sammy Watkins, number 14, 11 yards. 23 seconds left before the half. And then Mahomes looking, not finding. So you know what? I'm going to keep it myself. What? Makes the move there, tiptoeing down the sidelines, and then ba-bang, ba-bang, and a touchdown. 21-17 Chiefs.
And as you watch Mahomes, it's a great run by Mahomes, but as you watch guys turning down tackles at the end of this play, hard to figure out what you're thinking when the quarterback's running at you for a possible touchdown. Stick your head in and try to make a play.
21-17 at the half now, 3rd quarter, late 3rd. Same score, Mahomes, this time. Good coverage downfield. And he says, you know what? I did it once. I'm going to get a first down. Get out. Get out of here. And now, 4th quarter, so same drive. 2nd and goal. Damian Williams, right side. Into the end zone. Kansas City. Remember, they were down 17-7. They're up 28-17. Titans, 3rd and 7. Can they get going? Tannehill going to be sacked by Tano Passigno.
It'd be real nice if you had a clock in your head to really understand that pass rush is coming at you. For some reason, he held on the ball way too long. Therefore, he gets sacked.
Under 10 minutes to go. Mahomes, Watkins, who was his leading receiver on this day, hits a first down. How about that quick throw? Whoop. And now the Chiefs, 3rd and 6 of their own 40, looking for the clincher. Mahomes buys some time, floats it. Watkins could go all the way. 60 yards, touchdown, Chiefs.
Mahomes buys himself some time back there, and anytime you let a guy like Watkins get behind you, this is exactly the results. It's going to be a touchdown. 3 catches, 78 yards, all on that drive, capped off by a touchdown. You mentioned it earlier, boom, leading receiver 7 for 114 and that touchdown right there.
28 straight points by the Chiefs. Now, Tennessee scored a touchdown at 35-24. Frank Clark, down the sack on 4th and 6 with a buck and a half to go. And that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. The Titans, boy, they were valiant this month. But Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, going to the Super Bowl. The snow angel and the confetti. Mahomes with the Lamar Hunt trophy goes to Clark Hunt, Mrs. Hunt, the Hunt family in their own stadium. I mean, they'll be talking about this 50 years from now as the Kansas City Chiefs spot the Titans a 10-point lead, and they win it by the count of 35-24. And 50 years after they won Super Bowl IV, they are going back to the Super Bowl.
So let's go back. a half a century to the last time the Chiefs were in a Super Bowl. It was Super Bowl IV. A lot of people talk about the Jets win over the Colts that really solidified the merger. This was the one that might have done it. Back-to-back years, the AFL team beat the NFL team.
One of the best teams, I think, of all time.
Yeah, well, look at how many of those guys are in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
It's absolutely ridiculous. They beat Minnesota 23-7. Len Dawson was the MVP. So the Chiefs are looking for their first Super Bowl since that 69 season. That means they've got 49 years without a title. If they defeat the 49ers, they would end the second longest drought in NFL history. The Eagles' mark of 56 seasons still is there, even though they got a Super Bowl win in Super Bowl 52. Meanwhile, Andy Reid and company just happy to be getting ready to go to the beach.
Where's the trophy? Man. Listen, first of all, I'm so happy for the Hunt family and bringing that trophy back here. Wow, how great is that? That's right. That's right. You know, again, fired up to go to Miami. Need to get on a diet so I can fit in my clothes so we can go do our thing. But very proud.
We'll never let it happen again type of determination. That's what this team did. We rallied behind the guys that were here before, the guys that were new, jumped on board, amped it up even more. And sure enough, we're right here, baby. We're ready, baby.
It's amazing. Obviously, being able to do it at home, being able to win the Lamar Hunt Trophy here, and do it for the fans and everybody like that was awesome. We fell short last year, and we learned from it, and we built every single day, and now we have the chance to go to Miami and get the ultimate goal, which is Super Bowl.
So let's do a little more on Patrick Mahomes. He finished the game with 3 passing touchdowns, and he ran one in, bringing his career postseason total to 11 without an interception. That's the second most by a quarterback under 25 in NFL history, moving past marks held by Bernie Kosar and Big Ben. He'll have one more game to break the record held by Dan Marino, who, of course, went to a Super Bowl, only one in his career. Guys, the Chiefs are amazing because if we're honest about it, in both the divisional round and then on Championship Sunday, they took a practice quarter. Okay? We ran the first quarter. Here are the numbers for the Chiefs in the first quarter combined in the divisional round against Houston and in the championship game against Tennessee. 1 point, 1 touchdown. They were minus 24 in the scoring margin. They only passed for 100 yards. They only completed 53% of their passes, and they had 1 touchdown. Then in the second quarter, they scored 42 points. They were plus 32 on the scoring margin, passed for 204 yards, completed 70% of their throws, 5 touchdowns. And Mahomes had a QBR in the second quarter of 99.8. That's out of 100. What happened on the other point two, Patrick? Really? My God. Now, they can't do that against San Francisco again and expect to win, can they?
Well, I don't necessarily know if they can expect to win, but with Patrick Mahomes, they will expect to win. And now, you don't want to get down to a team that can run the football this way and a team that plays defense the way that the San Francisco 49ers do. But when you have Patrick Mahomes, you still believe that you have a shot. You believe that with his immense talent and the skilled players around him, you can find a way to creep back in the game and by halftime be winning it and never be close to losing after that. And that's what we've seen the last 2 weeks. I think the beautiful part about what Patrick Mahomes is doing is we always look at the playoffs and we say that people need to step up their games or you want to see something different from him. The beautiful thing is it's been nothing different. He's had the same poise, right? He's been calm, he's been confident, and he's reminded me of what he looked like the first 3 weeks of the season.
Before he got banged up.
Before he got banged up, when we were all saying, okay, this is going to be another.
Before he dislocated his kneecap.
Right, and look at this guy and the way that he's playing, not flinching, not blinking, and showing us why he's the best quarterback in the game right now.
Okay, but one of the guys we have mentioned as one of the best quarterbacks in the game is somebody that the 49ers see twice a year in their division, and that's Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks. And if you're going to say what's a good comp for Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson might be the closest thing. So they at least have had that exercise of facing this kind of quarterback. Maybe not the extreme arm talent that Patrick Mahomes has, but Russell Wilson certainly is a guy that they defended and defended reasonably well.
Well, that's the thing, Mort. Look, look, Mahomes is otherworldly, and I think we all believe he's going to be the standard for the next 10 years in the NFL. But the athleticism that the 49ers have on their front seven, especially those 2 outsides and guys, including Bosa, they can chase him down perhaps better than anybody.
Well, they can chase him, but think about this. We talked about Kyler Murray earlier today on NFL Live, and the San Francisco 49ers had some trouble with him. They also had some trouble with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was able to make some plays, especially in that game that they were able to win against the 49ers when 49ers were at home. And so Patrick Mahomes is a guy that, one, can give anybody trouble, but this has been the type of quarterback to give the San Francisco 49ers trouble. And what I can say that's different than Russell Wilson, there are no Tyreek Hills.
Right.
There are no Travis Kelces.
Correct.
There are no Andy Reids on that team. And so you're going to have to not only play against Patrick Mahomes.
Mecole Hardman.
You're going to have to play against a full arsenal of skill players with one of the greatest offensive minds to ever be a part of this game.
No question about it.
Yeah, listen, it's fascinating. And the one thing we really don't talk enough about when we talk about the Chiefs is the defensive side of the ball. Steve Spagnuolo's defense is very much built on what do you see and what do you see? Do you see the same things and you're tying it together? And there was a large part of this regular season where the defense for the Chiefs looked very much like the defense last year that gave up 421 points. And then after that loss to Tennessee in the regular season, which was the last loss, they've won 8 straight games, they have really clamped it down. They gave up only 308 points this season, well over 100 points less than they did a year ago, and they're making impact plays on defense, whether it's Frank Clark, who backed up the talk on what he was going to do with Derrick Henry, or Tyrann Mathieu, who was out there leveling people.
I don't think you can give Steve Spagnuolo enough credit. It takes players, but they did get better and better as the season went on. And let's not forget, yesterday there was a big question mark about Chris Jones, the defensive tackle, who's their best disruptor up front. He really is. And he pulled calf muscle. He got on the field for about 26 snaps, and he wasn't a big. He wasn't a big factor. And Travis Kelce, Travis Kelce played 60 snaps. He played a full game, but he went in there with a little bit of a bruised knee, and somebody said, "Well, it's just a bruised knee, bruised shin, no big deal." But the other thing we've seen happen with the Chiefs, I'm anxious to see it during Super Bowl weeks. How will they practice? Used to be teams used to put on full pads and have big-time practices, especially in the old NFC East days.
Yeah.
These injuries that Chiefs have had actually have happened in practice.
Right.
But Jones is the one I think they would want to get respect 100%.
I mean, you look at this defense and what they've been since Mexico City and playing the Los Angeles Chargers. I think, you look, Kendall Fuller goes down early on in the season, and they move Tyrann Mathieu into that slot, nickel, dime type of player, and he's been amazing ever since. And that's where he made his hay in Arizona, also with the Houston Texans. And once Steve Spagnuolo was able to do that, also implement some different things where he could roam and be around and also add people to the blitz, this defense has really taken off. And now you have Frank Clark playing the way he was supposed to play when you went out and acquired him in the offseason. And I think that has been really big for this team as well.
Trey, they didn't just acquire him. As you remember, it was a first round and a third rounder and another third rounder to get Frank Clark from Seattle. So they had big plans for him because they were saying goodbye to Dee Ford, who plays for
Dee Ford revenge game, Super Bowl 54. We'll see if either one of them are going to line up offsides. Frank Clark did it again. That was the best part about Jim Nantz on Sunday. He said 55 lines up offside again for the Kansas City Chiefs. The one thing I'll say about Chris Jones, he didn't have the stats, but his presence was felt. For example, on the first drive, when the Titans had gone 12 straight possessions in the red zone with a touchdown on third down, Chris Jones shot the gap, and they settled for a field goal.
You're right.
That was the first field goal that the Titans knew they could do with their kicker. He hadn't kicked the field goal since they thought, hey, walk with me for a second.
Let's go take it, man.
Let's go
get it done.
I'm not going with you.
You staying here?
I'm tired. You guys are boring me.
Oh, I went the wrong way.
Yeah, you need
They let
direction.
me practice on the one over there, Trey.
That's a problem. There's the practice field and there's the regular field. So we move over here. We're going to break it down. Your tail of the tape right now as you're looking at matchups in the Super Bowl. So quarterback, I think we know where we're going here. Right?
I mean, this one might be a little difficult for other people to understand, but I think you'll get it. Man, Patrick Mahomes, he's just absolutely amazing. And this is no slight to Jimmy G. If they were playing any of the other 31 teams, it would still be Patrick Mahomes.
Correct.
And we've watched him use his mobility to make huge plays down the field throughout his career, but never like we've seen it the last few weeks. He was running to score touchdowns. He's running to get first down. He's also getting outside of the pocket to push the ball down the field. And I think the one thing that he does that maybe only guys like Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers can do is get outside the pocket and make these huge downfield throws. So it's not even a situation where you plaster and think that you hold these guys to minimal gains. What you do against Patrick Mahomes is pray hope your defense works and there's a banana peel on the field and he slips, because the dude is just too hard to stop.
There was a play on their first touchdown drive, I think it was 3rd and 10, and he scrambled outside the pocket and threw a ball to Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek came back.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was a ridiculous throw, and we're like, well, that's what you should do because you're Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
The bar for him is set so high now, and he keeps passing it. It's absolutely ridiculous. So not the quarterback, the offensive weapons around the quarterback. Who do you like?
Now, I'm going to surprise you with this one, because we always talk about the weapons for Kansas City, and I do believe that they're amazing, but the San Francisco 49ers use their weapons in a variety of ways. I think that makes them so hard to stop. Here you're going to see Deebo Samuels goes across on a jet sweep motion and becomes a lead blocker for Raheem Mostert. They do things in different ways from many other teams. They have trick plays where they use Emmanuel Sanders, throws a touchdown against New Orleans Saints. Obviously, George Kittle is a major factor in this, but Deebo Samuels has come along this season and really become a big-time playmaker for them in the pass game, in the run game. He's also used as a decoy in play action to get people down the field, to get them open. And so I think what Kyle Shanahan has done is taken some pieces that you necessarily don't think really work together. He put them in one big pot and made a great bowl of gumbo. And that's exactly what this team is going to have to do to keep the Kansas City Chiefs off the field and off balance.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders didn't do much because they didn't throw the ball, but that's also a very nice, he's a professional chain mover.
Yes.
For Jimmy G to have. Okay, the defensive X factor. We see so many of those guys on the San Francisco side, but who do you think it is?
For me, and I know this is going to surprise you guys if I can get it to come up, it's Tyrann Mathieu.
Where did he go to school?
He went to LSU.
Just checking. Right.
DBU, for those who don't know. Tyrann Mathieu, when they acquired him in the offseason, it was to change what this defense was last year, to try to find a playmaker, to try to find a heartbeat of the defense. And that's exactly what he's been. He's been a guy that's been used all over. He's played corner, he's played free safety, he's played nickel, he's played the dime back, he's blitzed, he's covered in the middle of the field. He's also been a rover. And when you can do that with one person, with one piece, it allows you so much more freedom everywhere else. Now Breland and Ward on the outside have stepped up. You've been able to replace Thornhill with Sorensen because you can make sure Tyrann Mathieu does all the other things. Here, he's so good. Now when we come out, we're going to have two Tyrann Matthews for the defensive X factor.
Listen, you're just doubling down, and I really appreciate that. All right, now the coordinator situation is interesting, right? Because Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator for the 49ers, made a bunch of interviews in this head coaching cycle, didn't get a job. Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, bunch of interviews, didn't get a job. But their teams will be playing in the Super Bowl. Keep that in mind.
Right?
Which one do you like?
I'm going to go with Robert Saleh, and here's why. I think when you are facing the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and Patrick Mahomes, you're going to have to do some different things than what we're used to. We're used to seeing them rush as a four-man team. Now you're going to see D Ford pull out here, which allows K'Wan Williams to get in and get a strip sack on Aaron Rodgers. And that was a huge play in the game because it was something we weren't used to seeing. They came out of that four-man front. Now you're going to see Mosley here in a cover three pick off a seam route. We all know that the Kansas City Chiefs love to do this with Tyreek Hill, so I think him mixing things up and finding ways to confuse Patrick Mahomes and not let him read their mail early is going to be very big for this team.
And then, of course, what kicks everything off is opening night. It used to be media day, and now it's opening night for the Super Bowl. Is there one guy you want to see step up to the podium more than anybody?
Frank Clark.
Oh, dear Lord.
And before yesterday, I would not have said this.
Correct.
I would have said Richard Sherman or Travis Kelce or George Kittle. This dude gives zero.
Yeah.
And you know what the next word was? Because he bleeped them out 6 times in his post-game press conference. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, Frank Clark, if you didn't hear it, you're not going to hear all of it because we have to get rid of some of it. But he talked that talk about Derrick Henry's no big deal, 3 straight games, at least 185 yards, whatever. We'll bring him down. And they did. They held him to 69 yards, and Frank Clark had the sack that ended the game. And let's just say he was in rare form on the field at Arrowhead.
Past 2 games, each game, 70 yards, over 200 yards each game. I know damn well we wasn't going to win the game if we let that happen. They come in here, he ran for 70 yards. They call him the best rusher in the league. We sit in this home early.
I posted the comments that you said to me, and all over social media, everybody said you better watch your back, that you're saying things that you can't cash. Everybody on social media saying.
They must not know who I am yet. They gonna find out sooner or later when I got that ring on my finger. At the end of the day, we champions. AFC, that trophy that got my own the last name on it, that KC. That KC, ain't no fall off. Last year, jump off sides, all that. I told him when I got here, the gonna change. Look at we the best in the world.
Literally, I'm not sure exactly what he said there at the end because there were so many bleeps, but I was believing it no matter what it was. Hey, look, who joins us? Our NFL front office insider, Mike Tannenbaum, is here in studio for NFL Primetime, our Super Bowl preview. You guys ready to do a little Mort report here?
No, but go ahead.
Well, tough. We're doing it anyway. And we're going to throw you a haymaker off the top. Bartender, put up the blind resume graphic for you. This is where we put up stats of two different teams, and you tell me who it is. Team A, 51 touchdowns in the regular season against Team B with 46. 381 yards per game versus 371. First downs per game, 21 against 21.9. Who's who, Mort?
Well, I'm going to say that Team A is the San Francisco 49ers.
Survey says yes.
Wow, Mort.
You are good, Mortimer, and that's why we have a segment with you called Mort Report as we go ahead to what's going on here. And let's take a look at some of the other things
I had a
we need to talk
50-50
about.
chance of being right, as you know.
Yes,
so.
but, well, listen, you never say that. You just say, I knew it all
Okay,
along.
let's go. I'm sorry.
I mean, as they said in Beverly Hills Cop, the lie was working, okay? Stick with it. So let's go on first and foremost with San Francisco. You know, we talked about them, and they've been able to rebuild this team. It's really been an amazing thing. Now they're dealing with the injury to Tevin Coleman, but it looks like they still have that nucleus there.
Well, yeah, but Tevin Coleman is a favorite of Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan convinced the Falcons to draft him in the third round out of Indiana and then signed him as a free agent with the 49ers. Thrilled with that. But when he hurt his shoulder, he fell out second quarter. They say they're hopeful he can play in the Super Bowl. He was having an MRI this week. And, that's one that I think is going to be very iffy of all the players who are injured going into the Super Bowl.
Yes, listen, they rely on him a lot, but then you saw, Mike, what Raheem Mostert was able to do. And, only Eric Dickerson against the Cowboys in 1984, I think it was, had more rushing yards in a playoff game, 248. He had 220. So a lot of people are saying, oh, look, Raheem Mostert and Eric Dickerson. You see another comparison.
Yeah, you look at it, go back a number of years, Terrell Davis.
Yeah.
It's actually the same running back coach that goes back, Bobby Turner. And you look at the way their running styles are, guys, they're very similar. Terrell Davis was a downhill runner, one cut and go, and he had much more of an elusive speed than people realized. Go back to yesterday's game, you see Raheem Mostert saw a hole, exploded, got through. I think their styles are very similar. Here you can see Terrell Davis on the perimeter, sees an opening. And their running styles to me are very, very similar. Deebo Samuel leading Raheem Mostert for a touchdown here. So I think their similarities there's a lot there. And when you think about, one was coached by Mike Shanahan, the other one, Raheem Mostert, coached by his son Kyle Shanahan. I think it's a neat story. And I think we're going to get into this outside zone running game over the next 2 weeks because this two-back running game is really hard to defend with the 49ers.
It's interesting, right? Because everybody wants to give the Chiefs defense all kinds of guff because they haven't been great. Well, in the regular season, they beat the Ravens, who set the single-season record for most rushing yards in a season. In the AFC Championship game, they beat the Tennessee Titans, who the third best running team and had the league's leading rusher in Derrick Henry. And now in the Super Bowl, if they're going to pull it off, they're going to have to take care of San Francisco, who had the second best rushing game in the NFL during the regular season. Mike Tannenbaum, thank you very much. Meanwhile, we wanted to try and give you an encapsulation of the top 10 plays that shaped the Super Bowl the way they are now, including this one right here that put the Tennessee Titans up for good in that crazy Week 11 game in which the Chiefs had this game won in Nashville. Their field goal unit fell apart, and somehow the Tennessee Titans came back. That was the last game that they lost. Now, one of the reasons that the Niners are where they are is because of this play here. Kyle Rudolph in overtime taking care of the New Orleans Saints in the wild card round. And then, of course, there was this play by Richard Sherman in the regular season against Adam Thielen, cutting him off there with the interception. I'm sorry, that's the divisional round as well. That got them going and well on their way to being where they need to be. And then the seventh play that shaped the Super Bowl, of course, this one right here, no go, because that allowed the tiebreaker to go to the Kansas City Chiefs, a tiebreaker which they would later see go their way because of something else we'll show you. Top play number 6, how about this one? It is 4th and 2. They're down by a point on the road. Jimmy G to George Kittle. Get out of my
face.
He is just trying to save his own life, Trey. He's not trying to make a tackle. His kids, his wife, his mama is in the stands watching. And he's like, you will not stiff arm me through this turf. Hold on for dear life, Marcus Williams.
Literally, he was in his face because there was a 15-yard face mask on it. And then Dirty Dan Sorensen. I still have no idea why Bill O'Brien kicked the field goal on 4th and a millimeter and then went for it inside his own 20 on 4th and 5.
This was not the call to make.
He's going to trip him.
Yeah, well, guess what?
He tricked himself.
He tricked himself. Final score 51-24. And then this was the play that made sure San Francisco was not the 5 seed, but the number 1 seed on the final game of the regular season. The great play by the linebacker to keep Hollister out of the end zone. And going back to this one, the tiebreaker went to the Chiefs because in week 17, Fitzmagic led them to an unbelievable come from behind win. Oh, you bearded freak, I love you.
And he played like...
And it flipped the script. And then, of course, what more can you say about Raheem Mostert? Again, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half alone. Only Eric Dickerson ahead of him, and the number 1 play. Again, 2nd and 10. We're about to cap off an 86-yard drive. We had 151.
Here.
Little head fake, goes right down the sidelines. Spin, move, score. They were down twice. 10-0, 17-7 by double digits, and Patrick Mahomes said, so?
And after you saw that play, you knew it was over for the Tennessee Titans.
Did we make defensive players scared to hit the quarterback?
Absolutely.
Completely?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, that's sort of the way the rules are written right now. It's kind of a problem.
On a run, he's a runner.
Yeah. All right, let's go through a tail of the tape right now. Let's start with the tight ends. Who do you think is going to have more catches, Kittle or Kelsey?
The answer should be Kelsey, so I'm going Kittle.
Yeah, okay. All right, I like what you did there.
I just changed it now because Kittle's had an ankle injury. He's going to be healthier.
Okay, well, the other thing is they're going to have to eventually throw the ball for that.
That's why I will go with Travis Kelsey.
So where are you going?
Because I think that they're going to actually throw the ball if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, and I also believe they'll pay so much attention outside. Travis Kelsey will get to do some work within that zone against the San Francisco 49ers and Robert Salah.
Yeah, by the way, Andy Reid downplayed both the injuries to Chris Jones and Travis Kelsey in the Monday press conference. He thinks he's going to be fine. All right, let's move on to the cheetah, and that is Tyreek Hill. Do we think he's going to have over or under 100 receiving yards on Super Bowl Sunday?
I'm going to go under 100 receiving yards. I think this team, playing against the San Francisco 49ers, they're going to play everything top down, make the ball be thrown in front of them because they will not want Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill to beat him over the top.
1 missed tackle, and it's 80 yards. Yeah, he's going over 100 yards.
Wow, Mort. 1 missed tackle? What about the rest of the team?
They ain't catching. They ain't going to catch. Come on. It's a cheetah.
All right, so we have the Ferrari, we have the cheetah, and the Mosterati, if you listen to the San Francisco play call.
Right?
Okay, now let's go more likely to get a pick in this game. Tyrann Mathieu or Richard Sherman?
I'm going Tyrann Mathieu. I think Tyrann Mathieu
you're on Richard Sherman's list now. He's coming at you now.
I just think
you know how this goes.
I think he has a better chance because one quarterback's named Jimmy Garoppolo and the other one's named Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. And when you're Tyrann Mathieu, you understand how to bait quarterbacks. You understand how to move in and out of different coverage looks to get opportunities. I think that is something that can work well against Jimmy G. And when you play corner, it's easier to stay away from you than it is from a safety.
I do love the jaunty knit cap, by the way, on Robert Saleh there.
I'll go with Richard Sherman, of course.
There you go. Well, listen, then you're good.
You just want to be different.
He won't come after you on Twitter. Darrelle Revis, what are you doing, by the way? This is so completely
that's something
discussion.
Different.
Okay, because Mort does not do this, you're the only one that makes the pick. Right now, it's early. Who do you like, Super Bowl 54?
The Kansas City Chiefs, 27-17. You know why that's the score I picked?
Why?
Because it's the score I picked every single week in honor of you, my friend. When you did this show, every week you would pick the same exact score.
27-17.
And so this is my 20th time or my 17th time getting an opportunity to pick the score. And this has been 27-17 every single week. And I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs.
By the way, when I picked that score in Super Bowl 50, people were like, oh, the only expert to pick Peyton Manning and the Broncos to win by double digits was Trey Wingo. I'm like, it was a gag, man. I picked the same score for 4 years. Nobody seemed to notice. So that's what happened. So you're early on the record for Kansas City to win by double digits. We'll see how it all plays out. We will be there at South Beach. That's not the most important thing, but it's something that we're actually happy about. So we are all set. We hope you enjoyed this NFL Primetime on ESPN Plus, a version of the Super Bowl preview. That's where we're headed because that's where the Chiefs and the Niners are headed. I mean, it's not that I want to go there. I have to go there. It's the job. That's where the game is, man. I only go where the game is.
For you, bro.
I don't make these choices.